Falana, Gani, Adams calls out Inec chairman Amokbiton, predicts one candidate's presidential poll. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana and the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land, Gani Adams, on Thursday warned that Nigeria could end up having only one presidential candidate in the 2027 election if the judiciary continues to interfere in political party affairs. That's what they want now. That's what they want. Hopefully they won't get it. That's what they want. Just one person on the presidential ballot. That's what they want. They spoke at the 5th Comrade Yinka Odumakin Memorial Lecture held at the Airport Hotel Ikeja, Lagos. The event had in attendance the President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, activist and publisher of Sahara Reporters, and senior advocate of Nigeria, Olumide Fosita Rao. It was hosted by the President of the Yinka Odumakin Foundation, Dr. Joe Odumakin, and also attended by the Executive Director of the International Press Center, Mr. Lanre Arogundade. Other activists included Agbaja Olingo and Richard Akinola. Leaving the memorial lecture, Falana asserted that court orders and conflicting judgments were being used to destabilize political parties and lead to a situation where only one political party would present a presidential candidate in the 2027 election. He spoke against the backdrop of Wednesday's pronouncement of the Independent National Electoral Commission that it will no longer recognize the functions of the African Democratic Congress led by David Mark or Rafiu Bala. The Inec based its decision on a Court of Appeal judgment which directed the Commission to maintain the status quo pending the determination of a suit challenging the legality of David Mark's leadership of the opposition party. Speaking, Falana criticized the judiciary for interfering in the internal affairs of political parties despite provision of the Electoral Act prohibiting such interference. Then there will be law for this country now. We just have laws. It only favors some people. It doesn't favor everybody. Falana said, through the manipulation of Nigerian courts and senior lawyers, we may have only one candidate contesting the presidential election in this country. If that happens, Nigeria may not even need to spend money on the presidential election. Falana warned that actions capable of undermining democracy could provoke unrest if Nigeria feels they no longer had genuine electoral choice. He urged civil society groups, labor unions, and political activists to organize and defend democratic values, warning that unorganized protest could lead to anarchy rather than meaningful change. We must stop agonizing and start organizing in the interest of our people and democracy, he said. I think any protest that they want to should be unorganized, because the one that you organize and you fix a date for, they always find a way to sabotage it. You see that spontaneous protest that just comes out of nowhere. Probably you've pushed people to the wall, like people have reached their breaking point. It just happens spontaneously. That's the one that will liberate us in this country. You see all those organized protests, it will not work. Organized protests cannot work. Because if you want to organize it, you are going to fix a date for it. You're going to fix a time for it. And then they are going to prepare and plan ahead. The same way you are planning for the protest, they are also planning on how to come and put tear gas and shoot with tear gas and do all sorts of things to people. So the organized protest is not going to work. The protest that is going to save us in this country is the one that was not planned. It just happens all of a sudden. Speaking in the same vein, Adams warned that Nigeria was gradually drifting towards the one-party system. Which of the Adams? Which Adams? And accusing those in power of using the judiciary to suppress opposition parties and the will of the people. He said the situation reminded him of the political repression experienced during the military era and the struggle for democracy in the 90s. Adams says we are moving towards a one-party system. Those in power are using the judiciary to oppress the will of the people. We may end up having only one presidential candidate in Nigeria if care is not taken. He urged Nigerians not to remain silent because their ethnic group was in power, noting that political power rotates and silence in the face of injustice could later be used against those who fail to speak up. According to him, Nigerians must continue to speak against injustice and defend democracy regardless of ethnic or political affiliation. He added that the best way to honor the late Odumakin was for activists and civil society groups to remain committed to justice, democracy and good governance in Nigeria. Delivering a lecture titled, "Can Nigeria's Democracy Work Without Restructuring?" Falana said restructuring has already been taking place in the country, but largely in favor of the political class, especially state governors and members of the ruling elite. According to him, Nigeria operated more like a federal system in the First Republic, when regions controlled the police, courts and local government, but the 1999 constitution returned the country to a unitary system with more items on the exclusive legislative list. Me, I have said that this our 1999 constitution, they need to tear it and throw it away. And we need to write another constitution where all of Nigerians will be involved. It is well. At Godwin says, late comrade Odumakin was a man who stood for truth. He called a spade, not minding what was hot. Kudos to all who keeps his memory alive by continually speaking the truth. His wife especially. Ambassador says, God of heaven that disgraced Abacha will as well disgrace Tinubu and co-vultures in power. Amen. Immaculate says, make una remember the forfeit and judgment day. McDonald says, Rabbi rousing Falana, are there no other political parties and their prospective presidential candidates apart from those of APC, SDP, ADC? Does Inec have less than 20 registered political parties? Why do you ever delight in hassling and inciting chaos and anarchy? It's not inciting, that's the truth. That's what they're trying to do. Having just one person. Have you seen any other candidates anywhere? Have you seen? Please come and sit down. Rabbi Rausako. Alfonso says, what APC don't know is that with antics they are using Inec to display, they are rather making Nigerians to believe more in ADC as a true alternative to rescue this country from the mess of Tinubu and his government. Charles says, why is APC afraid for other parties to bring a candidate? Because they know that they are going to lose. This is the time for Nigerians to raise and stop them from their nonsense. Exactly, you are not doing well. You want people to vote for you. It's not possible now. When it's not jazz. When it's not jazz. Jude says, useless APC supporters, they don't know one table will turn against them. Mohammed says, Minister Wike is going to be the presidential candidate of PDP for 2027. He will contest with President Tinubu. Wike just wants his name to enter Nigeria history as the presidential candidate. Just wait and see. It's not okay. It's not okay at all. And listeners, don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.